What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Andrew and I've got a 2020 Mustang 5-liter V8 convertible for you guys today. We're going to take it for a spin. I'm going to talk about the exterior, the interior, how it drives, some things that I love about it, some things that I really can't stand about it, and why I think this is probably, in my opinion, the best version of the three-headed beast, the Challenger, the Camaro, and of course the Mustang. So come on, let's go for a quick spin. Okay guys, now before we go on that drive, I want to talk a little bit about the interior of this car, what I like, what I don't like, and some things that kind of get me excited and some things that kind of really piss me off. So let's get started with the positive. Let's get started on stuff that I do like. Now, there are some stuff in this interior that really excite the kid in me. And one of those things is these little gauges here at the bottom. So there are these little switches, kind of like you'd see in a spaceship or an airplane before you go to take off. And it just reminds me of, you know, rockets engaged, everything's engaged, and you're playing with these little switches, which I think is pretty cool. Now, I do like the steering wheel. It's nice. It's leather wrapped. I know you can get this car with a heated steering wheel as well, which is nice. There's heated and cooled seats. So if you live in a hot place like Georgia, where I am today, Florida, wherever it may be, you could have the top down. You could have your, your butt and your back getting cooled, and that's a really nice feature. Now, this is the convertible version, as I said. I like the convertible top. I would personally get a hard top, but it's pretty quick. It goes down in like 5 seconds and right back up. It's very easy and isn't stored in the trunk, which is really nice. So you can always have your luggage and everything else you need in the trunk. You don't have to take it out, just be able to put the top down. Now, some things that I don't like about this car on the inside is there are a lot of cheap plastics around the inside. So there's cheap plastics, pretty much everywhere you go to turn. Now, I know that this is, a $45,000 car, but the Volvo that I just got out of, an S60, it was beautiful on the inside, and that car cost $39,000. So I know you're getting a lot more performance, and you can't really compare the two cars, but that's one thing, is all the cheap kind of plastics. The other thing that I'm surprised Mustang hasn't changed yet, because this looks relatively the same from their 2015, is their dash. Now, they have really cheap looking inserts for the miles per hour and the RPMs, and they have a really small screen in the middle that'll show you like your digital speedometer, and that's pretty much all it shows you. You can choose through some different things, fuel economy, stuff like that. But overall, I'm kind of left wanting. The Camaro does a really nice job. They've updated theirs, and they have this massive screen in the middle. You can get all sorts of information on there, and it's very big, and it looks nice, as well as their miles per hour gauge and their RPM gauge. It looks really nice. This just looks, to be honest, a little bit dated. So that was one qualm that I had. The cheap kind of materials, as I've already said. Otherwise, I mean, this decision, if you're looking at this car, the Camaro and the Challenger, you're probably already going to be leaning one way with, what did you like as a kid, and what did you always want as a kid, and what did you see that was the coolest? That would kind of be a big deciding factor. Now, personally, I've always liked the styling of a Mustang. When I was a kid, this lady that I knew had a 2007 Mustang, which I believe was when they changed, whatever year it was that they changed over to kind of the new look from the old kind of boxy Mustangs. And she took me in that, and I was only like 13, 14 years old, and she let me drive it up and down this little back street that was a private road. So that was pretty cool, and I've always kind of really liked the Mustang from then on. And this would be the car that I have to choose if you talk about the styling. The interior is okay. I mean, if you compare it to the rest of them, they're all very similar. I do think the Camaro will probably take the edge for me in that regard, but overall it's okay. I don't think you're really going to be paying attention too much to how the dash looks when you have a screaming 5-liter V8 pumping out 460 horsepower, 420 torque. And you know what? I say let's get on the road and go for that ride. And I'll talk about a little bit about how this car drives and some other factors that I think should weigh into your decision. Okay, let's go on that drive. Oh my God. This car sounds amazing. Now, what I'll do is I'll catch up with you guys when I can get out. I'm in a little bit of a kind of suburban area, so let me catch up with you when I get on the highway. Okay guys, we're just about to head on the highway. There's lots of traffic, so I don't know how much I'll be able to wind it up for you. Let's see. So I'm in sport mode. Yeah, this car is quick. Very quick. Now, one of the cool things about this car is it has a piping hot 5-liter V8 with 460 horsepower and 420 foot-pounds of torque, which is crazy, crazy numbers. Now, the Camaro, very similar, the Challenger, very similar. I don't think that there's a whole lot of performance difference across the three models. You're not going to choose the Camaro, the Challenger, or the Mustang because one of them is faster 0 to 60 by 0.1 seconds. I think that the difference between all of them, it's pretty negligible. Now, what I do like about all three is they all have these big displacement V8s that all sound amazing. I've driven the Camaro SS. I was a huge fan of it as well. But it comes back to styling for me. And when you're looking at a car that you want to feel good getting in and out of, it's loud, it's look at me, it's proud, it's ready to go, you gotta go for what's gonna make you feel the best. Both looks and the performance is pretty negligible. So for me, it'd be the Mustang. I love the style of the Mustang. I love the new kind of front end that they have with the 3 omnidirectional daytime running lights, and I love the sequential turn signal. I mean, that is pretty cool. Now, what I do like more is the Camaro's turn signals now are where their daytime running lights are as well. So they're integrated, and it looks really, really nice. Looks very clean. I think Mustang, and I think Ford with the Mustang, got a little bit lazy because they just put the turn signal right next to the fog lights that are down below, and I don't think that that looks great. I think it's kind of an afterthought. If they could have put the turn signal into those daytime running lights, that would be pretty cool, and I think that they should do that if they can make them bright enough for all of the policies and legal surrounding it. But the car drives great. The steering is nice. There's actually, like I talked about, those little spaceship buttons. So the 4 spaceship buttons are the hazard lights. You have your traction control on and off, which I'm sure you're going to be toggling that if you get this car. Then you have your steering, and when you toggle the steering, you can go to sport, normal, or comfort. And also the driving modes are here. So if I click that, up on that tiny little middle screen are the driving modes. There's normal driving mode, there's sport, there's track, and you can hear the gears already changing. The drag strip model, and snow and wet, which just limits the power and kind of really traction control will take control of the car. So right now I'm just in normal mode because I'm just driving along the highway. But when you do put it in sport mode and you turn the traction control off, be careful. And I'm sure everyone's seen Mustangs usually hate crowds, and you see them running into people all the time, trying to show off, leaving a car meet. I totally understand why, because It doesn't take skill to buy this car. You just have to have 40, 45 grand and you can get into a car with 450 plus horsepower, which is insane. So if you toggle this switch, the back tires will cut loose. And these are some really nice tires. They're Pirelli P0s and they're very sticky and grippy. Like, the car drives great, but when you get on that pedal, man, in first gear, it'll cut loose and it'll turn on you. And it's just an awesome feeling. This car is so much fun to drive. It's totally different than the luxury segment that I spoke about before, which it was eloquent, it was peppy. You can't use the word peppy with this. This thing is fast, and it's just a stock 5-liter American power, everything to the rear wheels. I love it. So pure enjoyment and driving enjoyment, this is amazing. When are you ever going to take it on a track to beat, you know, a Porsche 911 or something? You never will. That'll never happen. So for pure driving enjoyment, this thing is awesome. I highly recommend testing it out. Give it a try. You can't be disappointed. If you love Mustangs and you're looking at getting into one, I personally think you could look at anything from a 2015 to the 2020. If you want to save a little bit of coin, go look at a used one, because they're basically the same car, a little bit less horsepower. I think the newer, the older model ones have about 435 horsepower. Don't quote me on that, but it's a small power difference. But if you're gonna save 20 grand off your purchase price, I could live with that. I could live with 25 less horsepower and 20 grand, $1,000 per horsepower. So that would be my advice. But for the other vehicles, the Camaro and the Challenger, I would look at the newer version of each of those, because I don't like the inside of the older model ones. So if it was me, 2015 and newer Mustang, that's where I would go. I would probably buy a used one. I don't think they've done anything major to kind of entice me to get a 2020 over a 2015. But it's all up to you guys. I will, I'm just about to come to a set of lights here. Let me catch you when I get going again, and I'll talk about everything overall, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, I'm just at McDonald's picking up some food. Let's see if I can get an opinion of the people that work here. Hi there, yeah. Can I ask you a question? Yeah. I do car reviews for YouTube.
I was wondering why you had this sound.
Yeah. What do you think of this car?
This car?
Yeah, it's a new Mustang.
What year is it?
2020.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Does it look pretty sporty? Does it look nice?
Yes, it looks nice. Oh.
What if somebody pulled up to you and said, "Hey, you want to go for a date?" If they were driving this car, would you be more inclined to say yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hot. Awesome.
Is it yours?
It's not. I just review cars, so I'm from Canada. Yeah.
Wow, he's from Canada.
Yeah.
How is it over there?
It's awesome.
Really? Is it better
awesome.
than America?
I don't like the cold. Yeah.
Dang,
I don't like the cold, so I like to come down to like Georgia and Florida when I'm like.
Yeah, we gotta go to Canada.
You gotta go to Canada.
What part do you stay in?
I live in Toronto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That is where the 416. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Take it easy. So I don't know if you all heard that, but fellas, you are more likely to get a girl to go on a date with you if you are driving a Mustang because it's hot. God, I love this car. This is so much fun to drive. People in Georgia are so friendly. So I'm just leaving the McDonald's, and there was a really nice kid who, just after I shut off the camera, he came over to the car and he worked at the McDonald's and said, "Can you rev it? Can you rev it?" So unfortunately the camera wasn't running, but I just waved to him as I went to leave. So let me talk about overall why I would choose the Mustang. I would choose the Mustang because that's what I like. I like the styling. I think it's a great car. Woo. But if you're a Camaro guy, you're a Camaro guy. I don't understand the whole back and forth between, you know, people that drive Camaros, people that drive Mustangs, and people that drive the Challenger. You're all in an American muscle car that's pumping out some crazy numbers. They're all fun to drive. So if I'm you, go for whatever your childhood dream was, whatever makes you happy. They're all pretty similar. The styling is really the only thing that's massively different. But the only thing that I can say, because it's verified, is you can pick up women, apparently, easier in a Mustang. Now, I wasn't into Camaro or Challenger to ask her that question, but there's some more motivation. Hey guys, what's going on? So, I went to bed last night and realized I'm pretty sure I forgot to talk about one of the most important things about this car and about a sports car is the transmission. So this car comes in a 6-speed manual or a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, this is purely based on my opinion. I would never, ever, 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 ever buy this car with the automatic transmission. I've driven the Camaro SS with the automatic transmission. It had a 10-speed as well. I think that 10-speed is much better than this 10-speed. This 10-speed is laggy. It doesn't know which gear it wants to be in. It's constantly changing itself. I don't like it. I don't even think it's that quick. I tremendously would never buy this car with an automatic. The manual, however, if this is going to be your pure sports car, I think that's the way to go. If you don't know how to drive manual and you know, you're just looking to use this car as a commuter, you like the way it looks, get the automatic. It's still okay, and if you're not a harsh critic, I'm sure you'll be fine with it. But just want to give my 2 cents there. I didn't want to leave that out of the video completely, so I'm going to shove this little section in somewhere along in the video just to give you guys a little bit of info on that. Take it for a test drive yourself. You'll notice that it, even when you put your foot down and you keep your foot at the same level, so you're not adding any gas or taking away any gas, it changes and then changes its mind again and changes to another gear and then kind of goes like it's weird and it can't make up its mind. I just think it's too many gears. I think the Volvo that I just drove with its 8-speed was much better. So that's my 2 cents, and let's go back to the video. Okay, I should get a green light here. Yeah. God, that's fun. That'll never, ever get old. That cannot get old. It's so much fun. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching the video today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you got something out of this video or you enjoyed it in any way, please hit that like button. Comment if there's a car that you think that I should review. If you're a Camaro guy and you're pissed off I didn't see a Camaro or do a review on a Camaro, please comment below. Anything is on the table. I travel all over the place. I'll see what I can get my hands on. So please comment, subscribe. I will have more videos coming out on a regular basis. I hope to give you guys some cool content here in the future. So comment, like, subscribe. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.